Check 1 2.
Good evening, everyone. It is certainly a distinct pleasure to me to be here with you for this very special occasion. As you can see, I'm wearing my Certificate of Badge of Honor when I got in 1994 for services rendered to the management of Cuban migrants that were here in the Cayman Islands. I will never forget the moment that His Excellency the Governor gave me this award. I very, very proudly. And now we have some really outstanding recipients who will share the same experience that I did many, many years ago. Please allow me to establish protocol and acknowledge the presence of our gracious host, His Excellency, the Governor, Mrs. Martin Roper and Mrs. Roper, the Honorable Premier, Honorable Deputy Premier, Honorable Acting Chief Justice, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Parliamentary Secretaries, Chief Officer Howell, heads of SAGCs. It would also be remiss of me, and before I get in trouble, if I did not acknowledge my mom and my wife and my 2 children who are here in the audience. We begin the ceremony by inviting His Excellency the Governor to bring remarks. Your Excellency, could you join us, please? And Your Excellency, I would ask that you remain on stage after your remarks so that we can begin the presentations of the honors and awards.
Good evening. Honourable Premier, Deputy Governor, Honourable Leader of the Opposition, Deputy Premier, Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a very, very warm welcome. What a splendid evening that is, and what a wonderful sight this is to look out at all of you. The first thing I want to do is say a big thank you to the Cayman Arts Festival Elite Ensemble. Please come back on stage. So, conducted by Mr. Tamayo and Mr. Antonio, these are our talented youth drawn from across our public and private schools, including John Gray, Clifton Hunter, St. Ignatius, and Cayman Academy. And I hope you'll agree with me that they've been performing some wonderful music this evening, and we're delighted they were able to join us. So please, give them a big round of applause for what they did. Take a bow. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think you'll be coming back. It's my great pleasure once more to welcome you to Government House for this ceremony and reception in honour of all those who are being recognised for an outstanding contribution to our islands through the award of a Queen's Certificate and Badge of Honour. These awards have a long history dating from 1926. Today, they are still awarded locally by governors in 5 British overseas territories. The other 4 are Bermuda, Gibraltar, the Falklands Islands, and St. Helena. They are for members of our community who, by their loyalty and meritorious conduct, have provided services of exceptional benefit to the people of the Cayman Islands. And 2020 was a quite exceptional year. Our islands have done incredibly well in managing the global pandemic, the biggest health crisis to hit our planet in over 100 years. Let me pay tribute to the previous government for their achievements and to the newly elected government who are continuing a cautious, gradual approach to reopening our borders. We can all be proud of the progress we have made and the largely normal lives we are living. At the beginning of the crisis last March, our team in the National Emergency Operations Committee was activated for over 100 days and led the public service response, ensuring that the decisions of Cabinet were implemented swiftly. Our emergency services worked around the clock to enforce the COVID-19 regulations. Our teachers pivoted quickly to teaching classes online and supporting those children in need. Many civil servants were redeployed into roles that were vastly different from their substantive roles. Superbly led by the Deputy Governor, the civil service was genuinely world-class in implementing the government's COVID policies. And it is still quite remarkable that not a single case of COVID has leaked out into our community from almost a year of travellers coming to our islands, and a small number with COVID. And I say again, that is indeed a remarkable achievement. One other outstanding area of Cayman's COVID response, and of which we can all be very proud, was the provision of large numbers of COVID test kits from South Korea. Many of the awardees tonight played a role in that. I do not want to single out any individual because it was a genuine team effort involving a wide group of government, private sector and philanthropists who came together for the benefit of our community. But it was an enormous achievement, and combined with UK technical assistance to support our testing capacity, it had a big impact on the successful management of the pandemic. So many people stepped up and went the extra mile on the front line to protect everybody on our islands. And I am therefore delighted with the Honourable Premier to present these awards this evening to members of our community who are a shining example of service, commitment, integrity, selflessness and sacrifice. I thank you all and everyone in Cayman for all that you have done and will continue to do for our islands. Your contribution is greatly appreciated. The awardees are drawn from across society, including the sister islands. They are civil servants, health professionals, teachers, educators, prison, our national airline, private sector, and our charitable sector. When we look back at this pandemic in years to come, I believe that one of the enduring impacts will be a sense that we should give more value, respect, and status to the work of people who support our communities day in, day out. Those that give public service out of a sense of duty and responsibility, from health professionals to teachers to law enforcement and civil servants delivering services. Those who provide care to our elder citizens, work in the charitable sector, in supermarkets or delivery companies, and give outstanding service. Society should recognise those contributions perhaps more than we have in the past, and that will be a positive and lasting legacy of the global pandemic. I would like to thank members of our excellent protocol team tonight for all the arrangements, Faye in my office and the wonderful team here at Government House, who have organised this event on the back of a highly successful Queen's birthday parade and garden party. I think all of them will be looking forward to a quiet drink at the end of this evening. Let me end by sending my warmest congratulations to all awardees for their outstanding contributions to these special islands. After the short awards ceremony, I hope you and your families and friends will join us for a reception to celebrate everyone's achievements. And I wish all of you a very special evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I now invite the Honorable Premier to join His Excellency on stage. Recipients, when your name is called, you will be invited on stage to receive your award. His Excellency the Governor will affix your badge of honor, after which you will receive your certificate from the Premier. The audience is welcome to show support by way of applauding after the name of each recipient is called. Before I call the first name, I want to also welcome our Minister of Health, Ms. Sabrina, for being here with us, and also Madam Justice Ramsey Hale, who is also here with us as well. For meritorious services to education, Mrs. Lorna Blackman. In the middle, yes. Thank you, Ma'am. Mr. Ryan Dale. Mrs. Amy Hunt. Mrs. Nuvia Manderson. Well, since the Deputy Premier said it. Yeah. Thank you, Deputy Premier. Yes. Mrs. Carolyn Powell. You all will recognize her for doing the sign language on all of those many press briefings. Thank you, Mom. Mr. Mark Ray. Mrs. Esther Rivers. Mr. Troy Rogers. Mrs. Brianna Wells. Brianna? Brianna Wells. Yes, well done. Thank you. For meritorious services rendered during the COVID pandemic, our amazing team from the Health Services Authority, and I saw the CEO here, Ms. Lizette, smiling at the back. Dr. Vinton Douglas or Dr. Ricardo Clark? Yes. Now, Dr. Vinton Douglas. Mr. Christopher McManey. Mrs. Joan Rose Wright. Dr. Erica Simmons. Yes. Mrs. Karen Stewart. And Dr. Velusamy, representing the Sister Islands. For meritorious services rendered during the COVID pandemic at Her Majesty's Cayman Islands Prison Service, Mr. Stephen Barrett. Thank you, sir. For meritorious services rendered during the COVID pandemic, representing Mr. Cayman Airways, Mr. Fabian Worms. for meritorious service rendered during the COVID pandemic, supporting our dear children in need, Mrs. Stacey Vanderbilt. For procurement of test kits and testing of the public, Dr. Bella Barra Straw. Mr. Vernico. Mr. Craig Merrin. Thank you, Mr. Merrin. Mrs. Susan Oldie. And Dr. Yaron Randall. Thank you, Your Excellency and Honorable Premier. Thank you very much. Yes. Again, I wish to thank His Excellency for awarding so many public servants and members of the community the certificate and badge of honor. This is an unprecedented number of awards, but this has been an unprecedented time in the history of our islands, with the public service and the private sector rallying together to keep our people safe. We have achieved what few countries have been able to achieve in the fight against COVID-19, and we must recognize those who were part of such an amazing achievement. I wish to record my thanks to the many persons who nominated these recipients. Many of you are deserving of similar recognition, but you decided to put others first. For that, I say thank you for your sacrifice and for your exemplary leadership, which has not been forgotten. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and those joining us live on CIG TV and Radio Cayman, this concludes this evening COVID-19 Honors and Awards ceremony to recognize outstanding contributions to our community. Please give our worthy recipients one final round of applause. Thank you. Recipients, you are reminded that there's an opportunity for an official photo following the ceremony at the back. Thank you for joining us here at Government House for this historic occasion, and we wish each of you a pleasant evening. Thank you.